welcome back, everybody, to the Quake Pro League, where we're slotted in for our fourth matchup of the evening. This one could actually be quite a tasty affair. We've got Spart1e, the Swedish superstar, the living meme with his amazing jumper. I still love it. I want one myself. Facing off versus Cooler the King, Daniel.
Cooler the King, indeed. But as you said, Spart1e's been looking fully good in recent times, and it'd be good to see what he does. He's definitely got the potential to take out Cooler, even though obviously Cooler is, when he's on form, arguably
Cut above,
yeah,
honestly.
exactly. But Spart1e's eclectic, erratic, has a really, really, really great all-round skill set. He's just one of those players you just never know who's going to turn up.
No, that is true. I think we've seen some different Spart1es over the course of the Quake Pro League. At times, you know, he looks ridiculous. At other times, it's like, where is that from last week? Where's it fallen all of a sudden? However, coming back in since re-qualifying, obviously, when we were in Poland, Dan, he's been looking fierce, honestly. I must say, he's been looking absolutely ferocious.
Yeah, but Cooler's a different challenge, a different beast. But if he can pull that out, it'll be close. That's the best he can ask for at this stage. Close games against Cooler. But at the same time, I do fear for him a little bit in this matchup. I wouldn't expect a Spart1e victory. I hope for one, but I wouldn't expect one.
No, yeah, it would be unlikely, obviously, just historically, when you look at it. Cooler has still been so consistent at being one of the best. He's an absolute meme machine. Obviously, in reality, Poland is still, in our minds, a bit of a blip, considering how early he went out of the tournament.
Wow.
But that's the last land, right? That's what we're basing it off. In terms of previous history before that, Cooler has always been so dominant. Let's have a look at the veto, though, see if there's anything at all thrown in there that could potentially swing us, or if we will be sticking to our guns. And I assume you'd probably be saying the same and thinking this is going to be a 3-0 for Cooler.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any reason why it would be a 2-1.
Okay.
Looking down, I do think it will be a 3-0 for Cooler still. And nothing in the pixel bands actually does anything to sway that. In fact, it actually reinforces that. Vale, Ranger versus BJ. I mean, the utility of Ranger is great, but Vale's not the best map for that, nonetheless. And BJ's strong no matter where you play him. It's unusual not to see a heavy champion on that map, to be honest. We normally see a Sorlag or a Keel or a Scale Bearer coming out, but again, this is just the way it goes. Corrupted Keep, Ison versus Visor. Nothing to really separate either one there. Ison's utility is pretty decent on Corrupted Keep. Visor's Piercing Sight's good. It's not the best map for it, but it's good nonetheless. And then finally, Blood Covenant, Nyx versus Doom. Always prefer Nyx on that map, but at least you've got comparable maneuverability with the double jump from Doom, which is what obviously you want to do to maintain control over that mid ground along the ramp side and as well bridge side. So pretty even, but overall I would slightly favor the picks coming out from Cooler.
Yeah, I mean, this looks more reminiscent to me of quite a standard matchup in the sense of like kind of tried and tested, right? Like if this was back in stage 1 and we saw this as a veto, it'd be like, all right, no surprises here. Pretty much what we've been looking at, you know, very common champion picks. I think this is going to be probably one of the more cleaner cut games. There's not really too much spice that's been thrown into it. Blood Covenant could be the only one maybe I've got my eye on as a potential gem hidden in there. Cooler can always be quite a naughty man on the Nyx. Normally starts to run away with things and get quite worrying. But you know, you got the Doom on Spart1e. He enjoys a good double jump. He enjoys a good double pump with a shotty.
If Spart1e can get his rail on form, he can definitely take Blood Covenant. That's can be his strongest weapon. He's pretty rounded, but I always found that his rail, the way he uses his rail, is quite aggressive with it. If he can get that on form, I think Blood Covenant is definitely the map he can pick up. The others, it's going to be, I think, if Cooler gets his stride, he can really suffocate you. And Vale and Corrupted Keep, you can definitely get suffocated on. So Spart1e will find himself hard there if he doesn't maintain an even playing field for himself.
Well, let's start off with Vale then, as that is where we are going to be beginning this series. Obviously, you've got the Ranger versus the BJ. Opening predictions for this one, Dan? How do you think it's going to go?
I'm favouring Cooler on this map. As I said before, I don't think the Rangers utility is anything particularly special in this map. Obviously, it can disrupt fights really well, but the way Cooler plays, likes to maintain strong control over all items, and then just bully you with the dual wield. I think it was just slightly overpowering.
No, yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. Obviously, just the sheer extra damage he's going to have coming through, the level of output, especially when it's a man like Cooler that is wielding those two weapons as well. You know, he's already lethal with just a single gun in his hand. You give him a second, and it's a downright dominant affair that is going to start coming. So let's slide into this. Let's kick it off and see how Vale is going to go. That'd be a completely different stream.
Very different, yeah. Spart1e with the Mega Spawn, but already Coollerz pushing in with the dual wield. Not going to work out for him as Spart1e's rockets are on point.
Yeah, Spart1e already getting an opening frag is a magnificent start to the match. Where can he go from here? And what's the sustainability? As he'll find Cooler again, trapped slightly there and does so much damage, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, Cooler completely off guard there. Spart1e did a great double back. Not able to get in time for the Mega, but is able to push in aggressively. But he's not hitting anything as Cooler's dodge is insane. And manages to come away with the frag somehow. Absolutely zero right to do so as Spart1e did all the right moves, just no execution with the rockets.
So you might get the opening frag, but it doesn't last for long. Oh, that's disgusting as well. Cooler with a second frag added to his tally very, very quickly there. That was lovely work with the rail.
He's also got timing on both items now, obviously picking up the Mega himself. Spart1e stealing away that heavy, but the minute Spart1e doesn't have a lightning gun, so playing a bit slow, trying to work out where Cooler is. And Cooler's just patrolling the high ground.
Cooler making his move over towards the Mega. He's going to try and use that dual wield to give himself more presence here to force Spart1e back. Spart1e was playing it quite confidently, though. Oh, as he turns the corner with a rail, the drive-by comes through and he puts him straight to bed.
He does. I mean, at the minute, it's game of big shots. Spart1e's caught him down here. Should be able to come away with a frag, but somehow Cooler does sneak away. He's not that healthy, though. Oh. Spart1e's pulling out all the stops at the moment. Some real great plays coming out from the Swede.
He's doing a lot of work at the minute. He has the advantage. Oh, the railgun as well. Look how low he's dropped Cooler. Barely staying alive. As his body is going to be aching after that one. He will feel sore in the morning. Spart1e going to be waiting for the heavy to come up, and he'll snatch that away to give himself more firepower. Dive straight in. He went for the dire raw play, but he just stood there and took it. Cooler. He had the dual wield out, and he just annihilated him.
That was the freest frag Cooler could have ever wished for.
Yeah, that was such a weird play.
I mean, I understand what Spart1e wanted to do, but he was just so early. Cooler got 200 damage, 3 unreturned. Now he's picked up and will pick up both major items. If Spart1e sticks around, he's bound to die, and Cooler's just going to push him for a fairly easy frag.
This should be an easy shutdown. Nice little dialogue escape. Oh, all right, the mechanics of this man. How has he pulled this off?
Oh, Spart1e.
And he gets Spart1e! What a magician! He makes himself disappear, reappears, and then sends Cooler packing.
All right.
That's mental. Considering that's the response to the position he just... Oh, I don't know. I don't know how that's occurred, but I love it. You know, we were saying, if Spart1e's on form, this could be a bit of a game. It looked like maybe there was some misplays coming through, but he's quickly remedied that down, and now he's looking like a true Swedish superstar once more. as he dives out of there with a dire orb escape once again to get himself back into a safer position. Heavy comes up, he'll slap it on his chest and start to move. The rocket also punishes Cooler, leaving him a bit more of a tighter spot. Can't really afford to make mistakes. He goes in towards the rocket as well. He's taking a ton of damage. It's the battle of the LGs, but who strikes harder? It will be Spart1e, the true Norse god.
And obviously Cooler popping the dual wield there, meaning he doesn't have it up for a good 40 seconds now, meaning Spart1e can feel a bit more confident in taking a straight mano-a-mano fight, which he does here in the lightning gun room. Traps Cooler behind that pillar, and he's taking a good lead, commanded lead now, as he's able to pick up the heavy cleanly and should be able to push in aggressively for this Mega. But learning his lesson. I see a typical Cooler there, doing everything he can to try and take away the major item. This time it doesn't work out, and now he's in trouble.
7-4. This is only going to get more and more bloated as things go on. The rocket from point blank, leaving him just
nice.
Decimated on the floor, like he's been put through a blender. Ooh. What on earth? How has he done this again? He looked like Spart1e was going to fall. But no, the rocket barrage firing out has again blown Cooler to bits. There is nothing that can go right for this man right now.
No, and now Spart1e's got real solid... At the minute, the aggression from Coollerz not working out.
This is just a massacre coming through. As Spart1e is popping off, he's definitely had a nice morning fika to get him ready for this one. Goes flying through the sky with a lightning gun out, taking a lightning fight from frightening heights, trying to put Cooler back to bed, but this time he survives, barely clutching his way through it, as he will fill him full of lead and move on to try and start to take down this huge scoreline Spart1e's built.
Oh no, that's really unfortunate. That is really unfortunate. But to be honest, like, this has all come from the fact that Spart1e has continually not learnt his lesson about trying to steal away that Mega into a dual-wielding Cooler. There's 3 times he's given away easy frags. Will be 4 now, and this time Cooler didn't even have the dual wield. Spart1e just needs to leave that Mega alone if Cooler's in position, because at the minute it's costing him potentially the game.
Bloody hell, Dan. This one is like Neo versus Magneto.
Slightly different to last game.
Yeah, a much more aggressive affair. Oh, here we go. Double LG. The 88 gigawatts coming through as he's looking to try and quickly strip the flesh from the bone. Rocket nearly missing out just on the timing there, as the dire orb escape trick will still be working well for Spart1e.
I mean, if I was Spart1e, I would just allow Cooler to take that Mega, but try and deal damage. Because at the minute, Cooler's in there every single time Spart1e's going. Every time.
This is a beautiful game to witness so far. Spart1e being shredded though. His Cooler starting to show his LG business. He does work finding that frag. 11-9 now. We're 8 minutes into the game. Cooler, rapid response as he flicks around with the rocket and tries to deny an aggressive push from Spart1e. Keeping this one competitive, Dan, and there's still enough time for a comeback to come through. This is going to be a huge, huge final few minutes.
Time.
God, this man doesn't miss with the LG.
I mean, Cooler's got 150 ping and he's just absolutely shredding Spart1e at the moment. And he's just letting Spart1e get major items. Like, Cooler's got half the major items Spart1e, but he's just making sure he's in the right position to capitalize upon Spart1e's positioning when he's taking them. Oh no, and he gets a full rocket as well as the item he will be pushing in here once again. Spart1e, just don't take the Mega. Every time you've taken it, you died.
I mean, if you don't want to lose this one, deny that LG going anywhere near Cooller's arsenal, because every time he busts it out.
Well, this is exactly why you always need to make sure you're in and around the major items, because Cooller's strategy isn't to take them, it's to kill Spart1e when he takes them. This
Goodness
time he
gracious
has
me,
missed out on both of them, however.
Horrifically painful. Some of the shots he's been landing back into the LG as well. Cooler, for once, Dan, he's forced to retreat. Although this isn't the worst situation to be in. Obviously, OT is guaranteed if they remain tied at 11 frags.
Yeah, and that's what Coollerz now going to be playing for. He hasn't got a lot of health to work with. He might try and hit a rail as Spart1e goes for this heavy armor. Is he going to stick around to steal away this Mega? Yes, he is. Spart1e's going to be late. This time Spart1e doesn't want to commit. Great tri-bolt though. They're both relatively low, but Spart1e with the armor advantage at the moment. He could finish it here. He's caught Cooler in the corner, but he doesn't have the right weapons out to really commit. Decides to not to take that. And Cooler also popping the dual wield, meaning he needs to play slightly more careful.
If he can survive for the next 30 seconds, he'll have that dual wield available to him again, and that is quite a key piece of his arsenal. Instead, though, it's the dive from Spart1e and the death from Cooler.
No, after me telling him all game the Mega Health death, he won the matchup off of that. I mean, that was chaotic, Jackie. That was chaos.
I loved it as well. The aggression, the frags that were coming through, the level of confidence from both of these men, and a huge win from Spart1e as well. He takes it on Vale. The Ranger reigns supreme, and the BJ loses out this time around.
It does. I would be slightly worried if I was Spart1e about how much control he had in that game and still how much work it took to win. But a win's a win nonetheless. And his rail was really on point. His rockets was pretty damn good. It was overall some pretty good decision making as well.
Yeah, I mean, those Spart1e rockets, they've always been something we've talked about and touted how effective they can be. Again, here today, hitting some lovely shots of them. But the rest of his arsenal, the rest of his kit, Dan, was also well utilized. He was very dynamic into that matchup versus Cooler. And I think that's what reigns true.
Yeah, for sure. It was good to see Spart1e going toe-to-toe with Cooler on a lot of it as well. And as much as a lot of those pushes onto the Mega didn't work out for him, it still kept the game even because Cooler also came off worse for. And so there was never a foothold on the map for Cooler, which is the one thing you need to prevent Cooler from doing. So it was, in the end, it worked out well. Let's see if he can keep that up and Corrupt to keep, because I definitely think he needs to have the same strategy. He needs to make sure he has got a strong presence on these major items. Otherwise, Cooler will suffocate you.
Oh, he will indeed. We're stepping into our second map now. Corrupted Keep. Spart1e is going to be on the Eisen. Cooler will be on the Visor. Is it going to be Spart1e's Keep? He's already got one map under his belt. Could he take another? You know the level of sheer madness Cooler brings out on this map, Dan. He is too cold to hold. I feel like this has surely got to take the series 1-1.
I mean, we'll see. Obviously, we've got the neutralizer of the ping that we need to just mention. 100 ping for Spart1e, 150 for Cooler. They decided playing to American server, so that definitely neutralizes it somewhat. But I would anticipate Cooler taking this map still.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that front. Straight into it though, Spart1e. He's picked himself up a tri-bolt, and he'll get one single tag off with it. To at least put a little bit of pressure early on towards Cooler, but that's a full free.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage.
Need some flex tape to patch up that one.
Spart1e's found him down here. That's an easy frag for the Swede. Decides to go for the heavy and will catch Cooler out on the exit here. They could come away with another clean gun. Decides to lightning gun is sufficient. 2-0 lead already. Nice by Cooler. Really nice by Cooler.
Already a 2-1 scoreline in favour of Spart1e, so this game is no stranger to what we had on Vale, keeping up the level of aggression that we had initially. Spart1e's going to take himself a heavy. Cooler in the meantime will be able to snatch away a Mega to replenish himself and keep himself looking quite happy going into this.
Yeah, already we're seeing a good use of the piercing sight come out. And information is always king. So no matter where you play, Fires is always going to be a very valuable pickup.
Spart1e. Great use here coming out from the Tribolt from above the statue.
I love that move coming out from Cooler though. Designed to delay the heavy to get in position to damage on the Mega.
Flicks coming out. Tribolt into the burst. Few connections. Nice bit of escape damage done as well, but Spart1e didn't realize Cooler was diving down, looking to try and take him down. He wanted to finish him off relatively quickly there. Spart1e has to make a mad dash to escape, as he has no real stack left. If he doesn't make it to the Mega, he will die. And he does fall.
And this time Cooler forces out the spawn. Spart1e did see him going for that, so he managed to sneak away the heavy himself. Cooler knows he's trapped here with very little weapons to work with. He wants to cut off that rocket area and try and control that weapon. Oh no, body! Slightly unnecessary from Spart1e. It was an obvious, I think he heard pop piercing sight, so slightly predictable.
Both of them being tickled up. Well, some really quite painful vaults. It is going to be the quick switch coming through from Cooler though to the HMG to put the final nail into the coffin, and luckily clutch his way through that firefight and win out. Now a 2-frag lead down. As he's going to head back over towards the nail room. Ooh, bit of a rocket misplay coming through, but he's still done enough damage. Uses the piercing sight as well to have a good read of where Eisen is coming from. And instead just backs off to get himself ahead. He's low. Bit of a risky peek. Fully committed to it. Was hoping that he would be able to take down Spart1e. Instead, goes over the edge and straight down into a grave. Four minutes played through now at this point. Both of them having their active abilities coming back up. The Mega will be taken, a Cooler. Oh, the shotgun signature as he scribbles his name across Spart1e with a buckshot. Only 5 minutes 30 into this one. Cooler is just reigning supreme now. He's got a nice little 2-frag lead. Probably going to be able to earn another one to that. He almost got the frag off. Nice bit of damage done. HMG coming back out to slay with as well. Really favouring playing a bit of gun game now as he cycles his way through absolutely everything to try and punish.
Yeah, I think Cooler's doing an amazing job of keeping marking all these major items deal significant amount of damage, meaning Spart1e hasn't ever got the stack to push in.
Five-minute warning.
Turning the corner as he looks to try and really make the fold on this one. Doesn't necessarily need to overextend too much. Can just drop down, get the Mega, and then back off. Over and over again, getting these tags out with a MG and really pepper spray him from a distance. Still landing so many tags. Launches himself in as well from the rocket to try and dive in to capitalize. The LG is coming out, and it should be a final pickup, but it's not meant to happen. He couldn't kill him quickly enough, so Spart1e drops down, replenishes his health in the Mega. It's still a 5-3 scoreline as we hit 6 minutes, but Spart1e did have the better stack. Just a few fractions of a second there before we've returned to normality. Cooler just waiting around. Doesn't necessarily need to fully commit to this if he doesn't want to.
No, not at all. Spart1e's definitely adjusted now. You can see him playing a better range game before we push a bit more, running into Cooler a bit. So that adjustment has definitely helped him a lot.
tickling him from a distance, Dan. Turret's down. Could be a bit of a nuisance maker, but it won't matter. He'll breeze straight past it, and like the wind, he's blown Spart1e away.
Yeah, it's all a bit too easy for Coollerz. When he decides to push, he just bides his time and then picks the right moments.
Just free
Still
frags
plenty
to
of time
swing
though,
them.
yeah. So plenty of time. The issue, great stack now. So he knows Coollerz will have picked up the heavy. He needs to try and whittle it down.
Piercing sight coming out. LG going to be coming through. A lot of damage done to Spart1e. But Death's Door, lucky to still be standing, let alone jumping as he makes his move back over towards the nail room.
Oh, that's a really good rocket though.
Yeah.
Coollerz needs to run for his life party with the... Can he catch him? And he can! Just in time for both major items. He could catch Coollerz here as he goes in for this heavy. Mr. Heavy!
Spart1e chasing him down, but the LG doesn't have much ammunition left. Oh, what's the trade, Dan?
How? I mean, Coollerz needs to be thanking gods he came away with that. Spart1e's execution was extremely poor. Plus, Coollerz missed that heavy originally. So exceedingly lucky to get on that, but now Spart1e has better positioning for this heavy. Doesn't have a rocket though, needs to get one of those if he wants to push in.
Oh, it's an awkward angle to be fighting from with the LG, but they're trying to make the best of a bad situation as they both equally trade blows there. Coollerz lurking around, firing out the warning rocket. Doesn't have much ammunition left in his LG, so if he falls into a fight up close and personal, it's not going to be ideal, and he might not even be alive to do so. Barely clutching that one out as he gets away with 36 HP and realizes there's a turret afoot, so no cheeky stuff coming out, no free breaks.
Oh my gosh, Spart1e's doing it. He's got another frag. It's time. Back in time for the mega. There's no heavy up as well, so Coollerz not got all the stack.
We've seen so many fights here towards the nail room.
1 minute
Spart1e's
warning.
back over there again, testing his limits. One frag away from at least having a sudden death fallback as this series will go on. That's a nice way to start it.
Spart1e could put down his turret, but decides not to, and Coollerz comes away with the frag with 40 seconds to go. It's slightly risky from Spart1e there.
Coollerz trying to get the frag across on towards the bridge as he's firing out those bullets. Up close and personal. It's the dive coming in from Spart1e. He knew it was now or never, and he finds the kill, but he has 15 seconds left to get another one, or this is going to be going the way of the Russian madman. The super shotgun comes out to slay with, though, as he'll lay him down to death with big popper pump, and it's all onto this. One final frag in sudden death.
Sudden death.
He's managed to tie it up.
Oh, the LG! Tickling him! Getting him so close! As they want to finish it right now. They do not want this to be a lengthy one. They want it to be over in a blink of an eye. As we're only 18 seconds in.
Coollerz wasn't as low as Spart1e needed him to be, so not affording to push in, and the heavy machine gun does jump for Coollerz in a very, very close game.
Barely walking away as the victor. Again, another really quite mind-bogglingly close game between these two. The fact it's been so competitive the entire way through. We've seen some great stuff from Spart1e, and his form is looking magnificent, but Coollerz barely clutching it out towards the end, meaning that this is now a 1-1 series, and it all goes down to the third and final map as a decider. Blood Covenant, Dan, is where we will see who's going to be the true winner.
Yeah, I mean, both have been crazy close games. Could have swung either way. Spart1e did an amazing job there throughout. I thought Coollerz played very, very well. So for Spart1e to keep it as close as it was extremely good. I think Coollerz's aim has looked incredible, particularly for his considering the ping. He's definitely been bullying Spart1e a little bit there. So Spart1e had to show what he was made of to even keep it as close as it was.
No, yeah, it is quite interesting how close it actually was throughout that. Quite clutch for him to even bring it back, obviously, in the final few moments. There wasn't much time. I think it was like 40 seconds for him to actually find those few frags he had to kill chain together. True testament of his combat skills when he needs to whip them out, as he dragged it into sudden death. Unfortunately, he does lose out on it. Or could you imagine the 2-0 scoreline for Spart1e? That would have been a miraculous affair.
Yeah, I mean, no, I don't think many people would have predicted that. As we said, Spart1e's got the ability to do it, and it's, as you're right, it's progressed so much in recent weeks. It's really, really refreshing to see this level coming out from Spart1e again.
No, it is. It's really quite fun to watch. So I'm glad we're getting to witness it now. Blood Covenant as our final map for this. We have Spart1e on the Doom, Cooler on the Nyx. Now, Cooler on the Nyx, he can be troublesome. Obviously, we know how well-versed he is when it comes to actually fighting, just in terms of his aim capabilities. He's deadly, very precise, but he's also very smart. That's the edge that Cooler has. And when you give him the ability to ghost walk away, it really makes it quite hard.
Yes. I think this is the one where we said it'd be super interesting, but always favor the Nyx on this. It's just the utility is exactly the same, except Nyx has the ghost walk in a pocket as well. Obviously, the stack is slightly in the favor of the Doom, but not to the degree where it becomes a huge problem, except if you're racking up the spawn frags. So I'm definitely favoring Coollerz ever so slightly. But again, we've seen what Spart1e has to bring, so hopefully he can keep that up.
Well, let's go back into it then, as we're ready to kick this one off. A final map between these two boys. Spart1e on the Doom. Can he bring some chaos here? Or will it be Coollerz that walks away as victor? Nice use of the railgun. Obviously, that light champion can't deal with too many rails before she'll crumble away like a soggy biscuit, Dan.
No, and Spart1e's already pushed in to force up the Ghost Walk. He's also guessed where Coollerz is, so this should be an easy frag. But no! Doesn't have the shotgun. Is forced to go in with a weapon that isn't that effective, and Coollerz sneaks away. That's painful. It's so hard to corner your opponent. And not to come away with the frag is really painful.
Ooh. Nearly a minute in, not a single frag yet, but a lot of damage exchanged at the very least. They're being able to hit each other quite nicely. Spart1e now adding an LG to his repertoire. It's lucky that it's not Cooler that's been able to pick that up, as he has been on a tear with the weapon. Over on Vale, it was definitely his signature piece. And he was doing so much damage with it. Does now finally get himself a railgun, though. Spart1e gets the read on it. Near misses from either one of them. And Spart1e's actually going to try and chase him down.
Yeah, I mean, Coollerz also pops the aggressive Ghost. So Spart1e has been relatively clueless as to where he is and probably not even realized that Ghost was popped either. Coollerz did spot him down below. So close from Spart1e. All right.
Restacking himself back up. Low on the tri-bolt, but high in the air as he uses that jump to get himself a little bit more airtime, hoping that he could get a rail off, but it was not meant to be. The rocket trades are coming through as well as they're going to tag each other, and it all comes down to the LG. Coollerz again, showing just how proficient he can be with this punishing weapon, as Spart1e barely gets away with 4 HP.
Yeah, I don't think Coollerz realizes just how low Spart1e was. But again, Spart1e, it's Coollerz getting the reads on Spart1e and a good use of the aggressive Ghost Walk. Always nice to see that coming up, but the rockets from Spart1e are pinpoint. And he's got the rail off the spawn.
It's a lovely rocket. And that's definitely one way to push this into advantage for our Swedish madman, as he's on the chase as well. Coollerz, lucky to actually get away there, Dan, or that could have been a second picked up very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, Spart1e's doing a great job of keeping pressure on, and this is what we say you need to do against a Nyx. High-tempo pressure game to make sure the Nyx can never settle. And Coollerz hasn't even got a rail yet, so Spart1e has the option there to control that area. But Nyx does get onto it. Spart1e instead busts a gut around the map looking for Coollerz.
What were you going to say then? Spart1e. Roaming around though, Dan, as he looks to try and continue on his warpath here. LG coming through. A lot of damage being done. This is quite an awkward fight, but Cooler comes out on top. Both of them so precise. But the predicament now is the fact the game is tied.
Yeah, I was going to say, as soon as you realise Coollerz settled, you need to slow. And that's exactly why, because he ran straight into Cooler. Slightly unnecessary, slight lack of care in the way he was moving around the map, and Cooler just capitalised upon that. Needed to make sure positioning was better.
It's a great spot to be in, though. I mean, 1-1 apiece. The fact there's still 6 minutes left in the game, it can swing either way, and hopefully means we're going to have quite a treat on our hands for the last in this series. Whoever takes this will win the series 2-1. And Cooler, he looked like he was supposed to be going down. It was just a matter of time before he would have been in the coffin. Instead, it's Spart1e that's set up on a date with the coroner.
Oh, that was close by Cooler. Didn't have a close walk up though, and that's why Spart1e went so aggressive. Oh my gosh, Spart1e is going crazy right now. But again, not knowing that Cooler doesn't have any weapons to work with, doesn't realise the Ghost Walker's Cooler bushes in here, but he got no weapons either. And he kills himself.
Not ideal.
5-minute warning.
Never the ideal move to make. Ooh.
Oh.
My goodness. Right, well, 2-1. Coming up towards the 5-minute mark now as we've pushed our way through. Spart1e going to pick up the heavy. He's got a little bit more armor to work with. Only one rocket. Not much SSG either, but what he doesn't realize is he might not even have any oxygen in his lungs as he's been torn to shreds. He doesn't even have lungs at all.
Yeah, Spart1e's lightning gun has just not been as good as Coollerz. Simple as that. He's been getting outgunned in those fights. Rail's been on point, Rocket's been good, but the lightning gun fights, I think Cooler might have realised that because he's trying to force them.
And now you've got Cooler with the LG in his hands, building up momentum, building up confidence again. This is where it's really going to get quite worrying.
Yeah. We know how Cooler likes to play. He likes to always be on every single item. So if he does take a couple very cleanly, he will then just try and suffocate you, as well as steal away any of your items in the light armors as well.
I mean, at least he's being whittled down from a distance, so he's taking some damage for these faces he's going for with a rail, but that's a huge connection. And now it's just shaping up like it should be absolute domination coming out from Cooler if he can continue on with that.
Spart1e does get the Mega after taking the rail, so he's full use of it.
Strip some of the flesh from the bone from Spart1e. Turn in the corner. Rail back out!
Oh my god, that damage.
Lucky to even be alive, Dan. Surely he falls. He's getting away. He's trying to escape. And Cooler is on the hunt. He knows he's low. He just has to hit him. And that's all it'll come down to. The rockets raining through the sky, hoping to punish, but none of them are landing.
No, his body's going to manage to get away and get this heavy. The Cooler's going to be there to do the thing. But he hasn't hit the rail or any of his heavy machine guns. So Spart1e is looking good.
Cooler playing for the audio cues now. No, he's coming towards it. Both of them with the LGs out. That's the Ghost Walk forced out. Not the worst thing in the world, though, meaning that he can probably escape here. Sticking with that HMG. He's been favouring it a lot for the chip damage from a distance.
Pushing aggressively. And he got the kill. Nice. With only 2.5 minutes remaining, this is dominating now.
This is crazy, Dan. This is where things are really starting to heat up. The Spart1e. He's in the lead. But can he maintain it, or can he even add to it? Both of the major items up in around 17 seconds. It's going to take time for him to come in. So if he does wait around in the mega room, he's going to be dilly-dallying on his own for quite some time.
He is indeed, but... it's looking painful for Cooler. Coollerz on 240 ping now. I'm not sure what's happening, but it's been like that most of this map. Still putting up a great fight.
Ooh. Sneaky rail adjustment from Spart1e. As he'll be able to land that one straight to the buttocks there and do a nice bit of damage. Now makes his move back around. 8 minutes and 40 have been played out, so there really isn't too much time. Ideally for Spart1e, he wants to not run the risk of falling, so there is a sudden death on the hand. He just wants to keep his distance. Talking of distance, there's a substantial amount between them both, as he looks to try and punish him all the way over towards Mega. If he turns the corner, this could be awkward.
That is all she wrote.
Oh. Almost
Always
a
able
frag.
to force that spawn out the top, and that's exceptionally well played by Spart1e.
Yeah, big spawn frag kill coming in. You've locked the game down there. That's got to be the series, surely. That's a 2-1 win for Spart1e.
It is. And I think Vale will be very pleased by that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great time for him to obviously get a couple of extra points under his belt. Was he in 14th place in the standings? So you think about a 2-1 split like that, Dan, you cannot turn your nose up at it.
Not at all. I think he's, as you said in the very start, he's been looking beastly. His aim's been on point. His lightning gun was very shaky, but he managed to work around that. I think he played very solidly throughout, timed exceptionally well, hit all the right shots, made the right moves. I really like the fact that he kept on Cooler. We know how Cooler wants to play, so if you keep on top of Cooler and keep his stack down, you can keep a more of an even matchup. But it was super close throughout, and it was unexpected, but still a good victory.
No, yeah, it was indeed. Not one that I think we had chalked up or really expected, but definitely one to remember. It's a huge scoreline, a big victory over a legend of the game as well, and the fact that Cooler has still been going from strength to strength. Unfortunate loss for him there, but a big victory for Spart1e. He'll be happy with the points that he'll get. As in that final map, I mean, Cooler, he just looked eternally doomed, mate. There was just nothing he could pull out.
No. He was trying a lot of things, as you say. Spart1e was able to outmaneuver. There was a few mistakes early on from Spart1e when he had really solid control. Cooler dragged himself back into it, but I think he definitely adjusted to that. Played a much better range game against Cooler. Whittled him down a lot with that HMG and rail as well. So solid.
Yeah, wonderful stuff. A big win coming through, and that does round out our 4th game of the night. Meaning, of course, after this, Dan, we're going to be moving on to Dahang versus Dramus, an all-American matchup. Dramus still going from strength to strength. Has he got what it takes to overthrow Dahang? That's the question we're posing. The answer, however, will come when we return after the break.